Let's see. All right. It looks like we're live. Yes, it does. That's exactly what it looks like here. And so let me make sure. Yes. Hey, y'all. We are live for another week of the Bright Girls in Business podcast. And today I have Miss Danielle Reid with me of DR and Associates. And y'all know, I always say I'm excited and all of that other good stuff. And that's great. All right. But I'm for real excited today. And I'm going to tell you why I'm really excited to talk to Danielle. It's because Danielle and I connected on Facebook, on a random Facebook post, maybe about 2 years ago or so. And we have become real, like, connected ever since. It's just so random that she was in my orbit. And so I don't even remember the post. I don't know if you remember the post.
I don't either.
It was so irrelevant. Like, based upon everything else that we've talked about between now and then, it's just been so irrelevant what that was. But I'm so glad that we did connect and that we've been connected thus far. We are in the same field. She is a marketing expert and she has worked with some heavy hitting brands, her and her team. They do everything from event marketing and experiential to social and digital. And I mean, they are bad up there in Memphis. Okay. So today we're talking about putting your brand in the spotlight. And y'all know I've been on this kick. If you've been paying any attention to me on Facebook and Instagram the past 2 weeks, I have been talking about visibility. So this topic comes up right just like smack dab in the perfect time and season to talk about, how to get your brand out there and how to not be raggedy. Okay, that's the best word I could come up with right now. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm candid and whatever. But how to really make your brand shine and be in the spotlight and to be able to leverage the spotlight when you get it. So welcome, Danielle, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy that we finally got to do something together. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So before we really get into putting other people's brands in the spotlight, let's talk a little bit about how you ended up creating your brand and starting your entrepreneurial journey.
yeah, so I've been working in the marketing industry almost 15 years at this point. Started off in the spirits industry, and took it from there. Worked my way up to become a senior manager at a big six agency, but I kept hitting that glass ceiling, like so many women in our field. And I said, okay, well, let me go from agency side to client side. Client side was really slow. And coming from off that agency side, it's everything's fast, you stay busy. And, I started to, when I was on the client side, I started to look at how much some of the agencies were actually charging for their services, because although I worked on the agency side, I never really realized how much, they were actually charging to the client. But I started to think about, okay, people always ask me, Danielle, can you help with my business? Can you help this? And so I'd already been helping out people part-time. And I was like, wow, the reason why so many people can't or don't reach out to agencies is because the ridiculous price that a lot of them charge for some of their services. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and make that move. And so I did. October the 1st, 2019. It's been a journey. I tell people, I'm like, hey, I'm glad that I have mentors and even, reaching out to you for advice and for help and things like that are like, am I crazy or should this be happening? All of that makes a difference in your entrepreneurial journey. And so, I'm glad to still be here, especially through a pandemic, in which for a lot of us, our businesses increased during the pandemic. So many people said, hey, I need a website now. Like, yeah, you should have one 10 years ago, but hey, let's go ahead and let's get you up and running. And so now I have my own firm, DR and Associates, based here in Memphis, but we service clients some everywhere. But we specialize in everything from initial brand and marketing strategy, getting those plans out there that people don't think about that they need until it's too late. Oh, I need a marketing plan. It's like, yeah, you should include this with your business plan, but hey, we can still help you. But everything from that to, experiential and event management. So
I love it. I love it. So, we speak the same language. We DM each other. We laugh. We go through the same types of woes with clients and all types of stuff. And so my next question really is, what, with you doing the initial brand strategy and marketing plans, first of all, thank you for taking that space and doing that. I preach strategy left, right, up and down. And for whatever reason, people, they just think that they could just jump out here and do something and get the same results as somebody who has carefully crafted their plan. So what do you see in the marketplace as some missteps that people take before they get to you when they're trying to brand themselves?
So normally I usually tell people it's one of usually three situations. So it's usually they tried to do something and it didn't work. They kept trying and then they failed and they said, okay, you know what? I need some help. I've been wasting a lot of money. That's one person. The other person is usually, hey, I've had this brand, but I've rebranded myself. And what they mean by rebranding is I've had 10 logos, didn't really know who I wanted. Now I know I need some marketing help. And then you get the people who they want to make sure everything is in place. So after they get their business plan, they just like, you know what? Part of my business plan is I was supposed to do something with marketing. So let me reach out to a professional to go ahead and get that roadmap started. So it's normally for me one of three things. And so I get a lot of people who they've tried and they failed, and they've wasted a lot of money doing some things, they don't know who their target market is, and a lot of people, they just keep failing and say, okay, maybe if I try something different, it'll be okay. But a lot of time, if marketing or branding or however you want to position it is not your specialty, leave it to the professionals from jump. And it can save you time. Because I get a lot of people where I see where their brand should be ahead of where it is, but they can't because they aren't positioned correctly.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same way and I see the same things. When you said that, I actually thought of a brand that I've seen out there. And I'm like, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this, you could do that. I think just as creatives, that's just where our minds go when we see certain things. And it's unfortunate that and I'm just speaking from my experience, I don't know if this is yours, but when you quote a price to business owners, a lot of times they get sticker shock and they just like freeze. And then they say, oh, I can do this on my own. And then, like you said, they end up costing themselves more money down the line rather than doing it right and tight the very first time. Yeah. So I used to do experiential and event installations and stuff too. So when I saw that on your site, I was like, oh, that's dope, because that's honestly what got me into marketing. It wasn't social, it was the events. I loved doing events. That's what got me through grad school, actually. So tell people, because I'm talking now about the different ways for you to market your business outside of social media. Everybody is just social media focused, social media. That's all they seem to know. And I've been in this, me and you, about the same time, give or take a couple of years. But I think you said 15 years? Yeah. So that would be what?
07. Look, yeah, 07.
Okay, so we've been doing it about the same time. So what I see is that people always focus on social media and they don't know the other areas of where you can place your brand in a spotlight to really be seen better than social media, honestly. So what are some of the other ways that you work with your clients and do things?
Yeah, so I would say, of course, the first thing is knowing what industry you're in. Everything doesn't work for every industry. Another thing is knowing where are your target clients. Your target customers. Client, it depends on their service or product business, but knowing where are they and what are their behaviors. I would say, like, say for instance, I have, clients that are involved in the education field. Billboards work great for them. So out of home works great for them. But guess what? Out of home doesn't work for everybody, especially if you're not in the right locations.
Yeah.
Right now we have a frenzy where people think, oh yeah, we gonna get these billboards and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, the billboard sounds cool, but is it your target market? Is it a good location where your target customer even is? You know, because they don't, a lot of times business owners don't know anything unless they've hired a professional. They don't know about target demographics or where their customers are located. So that's something that I sit down and I discuss, or even, you know, internally and externally, because I want my clients to know why I'm doing something and how it benefits them so that they understand the value in it and they can appreciate, oh, she actually let us know something, compared to, you know, some people that just do things and they're like, oh yeah, we did this because of X, Y, and Z, and then it failed or it worked really good and you can't really give them an explanation on why it did. Another thing to think about is people still read magazines. You know, depending on your industry, some people still watch television, depending on who your target market is. For some people, depending on, especially if you're going for baby boomers, direct mail still works really good. Now, I throw my mail away, but
don't even look at it.
Yeah, I unless it's a check or something coming, I look on the dashboard. If I don't see anything that looks important, in the trash you go. But for certain demographics, they check their mail. It has a good return on investment for a lot of people. But knowing who your target is going to be dependent on a lot. You know, that's going to be what sets the footprint for where we advertise. Because, you know, it used to be back in the day, you know, when you were doing your channel strategy, it used to just be, oh, television, radio, out of home. And, you know, for some people, you know, and it would just be a mix of where they are. And now people just think social, 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 social. And I'm like, okay, but if Facebook shut down today, just like, you know, when Facebook glitches, or when Instagram glitches, people don't know what to do. Oh, nobody's seeing my business post. And I'm like, you shouldn't just be dependent on social media anyway.
Yep. That's absolutely, not to mention, yes, if they go down and all of that other stuff, but now it's becoming a lot more expensive to actually advertise on Facebook. Like when we started in the game, Facebook ads were like just coming out.
Yeah.
It was just new. Facebook ads and Facebook fan pages. They were brand new, just coming out. So it was like you could spend $20 and everybody
saw your stuff.
Everybody see your stuff. Now it's like, okay, you know, I'm asking my clients, do you have a minimum $2,000 to spend on ads?
Yeah.
And they're looking at me like, but Facebook is free. No.
Yeah, Facebook is free, but if you want people to see your stuff, you have to, and I tell people, I'm like, this is what the algorithm wants. And I'm always honest with people on, this is what you need to be posting. This is what the algorithm wants. Even for some people, they think, oh, I can put $25 behind it. Baby, that's not going to make an impact when your competitors, and that's what a lot of people don't realize, your competitors are spending $2,500 a day. Your competitors are spending $2,500 a week. And they're seeing it. So guess what? Your little ad, they're going to tell you, yeah, it got shown in somebody's timeline, but what's your click-through rate? What's your retention rate?
That's so true. That is so true. And not only that, it's so much noise out here in the marketplace that I feel like, and this is what I've been talking about. I've been trying to drill in people's heads, because no shade to anybody, you know, in particular or not particular, whatever. But there's so many people that have just jumped up and landed in social that don't have any real marketing background. Because social is sexy. It's the thing to do. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has Instagram and Facebook. And so you know how to post and you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I see so many people on social media just like telling people that that's okay. Telling people that that's okay. And so when somebody like you comes through and you know, tries to convince them to do otherwise, what are some of the objections I know you face objections, because I do.
I mean, I think for one thing, and this is what people have to understand, even me and one of my clients, she said that when she recommends me to people, she's like, look, Danielle has real experience. She's worked for a real agency. She's not somebody out here trying to scam you or anything like that. But she also talks about, If you want to become a millionaire, you have to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to make that million. One of the things that I try to explain to people is that with any corporation that you look at, almost usually their top 5 items, guess what's going to be included in their budget? Their marketing budget.
Oh, absolutely.
That tells you that if every corporation on Fortune 500, Fortune 100, whoever, if they're spending millions and billions of dollars each year to advertise, guess what your number one thing for your business should be? Yep. Unfortunately, in our industry, we get people who, and I think for right now, it's kind of that trendy thing, and hopefully they are on to something, new within a couple of years, because they end up watering down the industry. So what ends up happening is that when they come to someone like me, where, I'm not, I'm telling them, hey, look, this is what I'm going to help you with. Some of them get that sticker shock. And I'm like, but hey, I'm charging you this. If you went to a comparable agency with the same experience that I have, you're going to pay them a minimum of $25,000 a month retainer, point blank, period. If I'm offering you something for a fraction of that, that's a deal. And so I end up usually, it's kind of twofold. I'll see the clients who they understand that, because guess what? They've called those other agencies. They've had those little free meetings, where they try to get them in there, and then the meeting, they're like, yeah, we need a credit card on file with a minimum of $150,000 credit line, point blank, period. Then you get the ones who they know they need it, but they don't want to invest in it. And so they're like, well, can you do this? Can you do that? And they want to invest the minimum with maximum results. It doesn't work that way at all. If you put in minimum in, guess what you're going to get out of it? Minimum. If you're on, it's like, I have a lot of people who say, well, let me just get on your do-it-yourself plan. I've gone where, even if it's someone on my do-it-yourself, where I've actually gone on there and had my team posting it for them. We're doing all the work, right? But then I say, hey, well, you all need to do this, this, and this, and they don't see a value to it. So, I'm to the point now, it's kind of like, okay, either you see if you don't see a value in it, I eliminate you from the front end. If you don't see a value and you truly don't want to invest in your business and use someone who's truly going to help your business grow, just go to Fiverr.
Let's go to let me tell you, I send people to Fiverr left and right. Going over there, they'll output something real quick for you. And
I mean, I've had clients where I explain to them, hey, you have 5 or 6 different businesses. This is how much it's going to cost. I've even let them in on, this is what the algorithm wants. This is what we have to do. So I'm giving them the game, right? And I'm like, hey, well, if we're running 5 or 6 different accounts, this is what the price is going to be. It could be something as small as like a 5% increase, just because we know now we have to take the time to build this additional content. And some of them will say, well, I found somebody on Fiverr. Okay. And they'll say, oh, they're going to do it for, a half, less than half of what you charge. And I say, okay. I even look at I've had access to some of their information afterwards. 0 sales. Now those leads that were coming in, they stop. You go from 1,000 organic likes in an hour to getting maybe 25 likes per post, things like that. And then you wonder why you're flatline, because you're hiring someone who doesn't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about the success of your business. All they care about is, oh, they paid me this little money. Let me just crank this on out and go on about my business. They don't truly care. They don't even care about your customer service. They care about, did you pay your invoice? That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it all the time. And another thing that I see as a result of what you just mentioned and what you just described is, after they've gone through that experience and they've been burned, then they want to come to you to fix their missteps, but they don't want to pay you to fix the mistakes.
Well, I hear all the stories. I was scammed, blah, blah, blah. I paid somebody to do this. They didn't do it. And one of the things that I say is everybody has a sad story where something that's happening to them. I've had clients who haven't paid invoices. Guess what? I just switched up my policies, switched how I move, and went on about my business. Everybody has a sad story. And so you end up getting people who they say, oh, well, I got scammed. And I'm like, Okay, well, did you do your due diligence on this person? Not just were they social media popular or whatever. Did you ask for recommendations or referrals? Did you look at their own stuff to say, do they have a real website that actually works? Not just because even some larger agencies aren't that active, like on social media. And that's what I try to tell people. It's a lot of real agencies that aren't active on social media, which tells you a lot. But if you go to their website, you can see, oh, they have actual clients. They have this, they have that. And so a lot of time after they've been burned, they want to come to somebody like you or myself. And then they want to say, well, oh, let me give her a sad story. And hopefully she'll give me a discount. And it's like, I apologize for your experience, but this is your fee.
Yeah. So just swinging the conversation back, how can a business, let's say they're just kind of starting out. They don't have a budget to really work with you or me, but they really, they have a solid concept. Everything else is down. They may need to get some revenue in the door before they really fully invest in some marketing. Maybe they're bootstrapping their business or whatever the case. What are some things that you would suggest to them to either position themselves to be ready to work with an agency or to get some spotlight on their own, to generate some buzz on their own?
Word of mouth. I would most definitely say word of mouth, and that doesn't mean your friends, that because you hear people say all the time, my friends and family don't support my business. Okay, but there is somebody out there who will. Even, reaching out to those influencers who are just starting out on social media to say, hey, can you talk about my product or service and I'll send you something for free. That's a good way to get word of mouth up. Those niche, and I hate to say, going back to social media, but, like those niche Facebook groups, putting your businesses in there, putting your business in there just to try to get, people to start looking at your stuff, even if you don't have a website or whatever at that point, but just, hey, let me start putting my business out there. I would also say thinking about options like your local chambers of commerce. That's a really good option. Or even, I necessarily with the BBB, a lot of times when people join, they'll share it. They'll share a newsletter, things like that. It's just little small things you can do. And networking is key. For a lot of people, they don't understand how important a network is. One of the things my professors always taught me was get out there and network. Don't be afraid to go in other circles. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone to go and, find new people. And so that's something that I've always prided myself in doing, is that I'm not afraid to go, meet new people or to step out into new circles, because that can be an opportunity where someone's like, oh, I was looking for someone to do a website. Just telling people constantly about your business, even like for me, when I'm out somewhere, it can be someone who's doing a service for me, and people will see my car tag has said something about marketing on it. And people ask me all the time, oh, you do marketing? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, I need a website done. Okay.
Yeah. I will honestly say in the beginning of my business, that was the only way that I really grew my business. It wasn't social media, even though I was working social media for other people and myself too. But networking, hands down. I mean, because people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. I say this all the time. And it's true. If you meet somebody face to face and you have a conversation with them, they're more apt to remember you than they are to remember an ad that they saw. Yeah. They are, because they remember the conversation, and then they see you again. Oh, I remember you. Didn't you tell me you were from X, Y, and Z? They relate something to you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh man, let me introduce you to so-and-so and but I see so many times people, new business owners. I used to be the president of a master networks group for about 1.5 years. And so I was the only only Black woman in the group. And I led the group, and I would invite people out. I would try to get them to tap in, and they would just act like I don't know, like I was offering them coronavirus or something. I don't know. But I'm like, do you understand that the intent for what, like, our purpose in the group was to send referrals? Like, our goal was to get our our shared revenue in the group up. Every week we would report, okay, this is how much money this group has made amongst each other. It was intentional. It wasn't just like going to a gala and passing out cards or something. But for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but a lot of these newer business owners do not like to go out and network. And I'm just wondering, when I just said that I had a thought, you tell me if you can concur or if you think something different. I think social media has made it too easy to hide behind a computer.
I would agree. I think that for a lot of people, even if people want to say that they're introverts, because for me, I'm an introvert.
I am.
That doesn't mean that it stops me from getting out with my business. And if you're to the point where you're that shy where you can't talk about your business, hire someone else to be the face of your business or learn how to pivot in a different way. And so for a lot of people too, I think it boils down to time. And so a lot of people really don't know good time management. They'll sit up and they'll say, I see things, of course, pre-COVID, I saw a lot of things where they'd be like, oh, this Wednesday night, we're going to have this networking event, X, Y, and Z. You had so many people that would make excuses on why they didn't make it there. But when it comes time for you to go anywhere else, the club, wherever, they make the time to do it. Even if it's just you going by for 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. In that 30 minutes, you can make one connection that could change your life, that could change the trajectory of your business forever. And so a lot of people, they think, oh, I'm not dressed right for going to that. I'm not X, Y, and Z. Guess what? That's why you keep a polo shirt in your car, whatever. Change your shirt real quick. Whatever you got to do. Go. Always keep your business cards on you and go on and handle your business.
I love that you just said that because a couple things that you just said. One, if you're not that person, hire somebody to be that person. And two, always keep your stuff together and be ready. Because a couple years ago, it ain't a couple, it's been some years now. Time is just flying. I don't even know what day is this? What year is it? I don't know. Where are we? But anyway, some years ago in the early stages of my business with me networking, I actually contracted with another company to be the face of their business. So like I was telling you, I love the events. I loved event marketing. I carried that over into my own business as I was growing it. It was another stream of income for me until my business started, and they paid me to go network. That's all I did. They paid me to go to networking events, to wear their shirt, to hand out their business cards, and to get other people's business cards. I didn't even have to follow up with the people. All I had to do was get business cards, enter it into the system, and somebody else would call them.
See?
And I was growing their business by doing that. And so it's always a way to get your business out there into the spotlight. You have to be creative. You have to stand out. I see a lot of the same looking stuff, and it all starts to kind of blend together. You don't know who is who and what is what. Yeah. But you have to be willing to stand out. And I'm afraid to say that I think some people are afraid to do that.
I think that for some, and I wrote a post about this the other day when I said a lot of time when people start posting about themselves, you will see people say, oh, you need to be humble. And I on the status I said on there, I said, if you really knew what the definition of humble was, you wouldn't do it. Because being humble means being low. Yeah. It means being of low value. And I said, some people want you to think like that mentally so that they can come to you with those sad stories, so that they can say, well, will you go down on your price? Well, or, oh, no, you don't deserve what all you're getting. I said it's the difference between being humble and being thankful, having gratitude. And so I think for a lot of people, just like how you said, they're afraid to stand out because they feel like, oh, if I stand out, then someone's going to say, oh, no, you're being cocky. You're being arrogant. But in order to differentiate yourself among the competition, you have to stand out. Just like when I look up and down, social media, I see people posting the same, the same color schemes, where they saw someone else using that and they said, oh, that looks good. Mm-hmm. Or, whatever the case may be, everyone's things look the same. you don't see a lot of people, and you will see a lot of them who will be those trendsetters and will step outside of the box, but you have to be willing to do that. And so for some people, they're like, well, this company did theirs like this, so I'm going to do it. What makes you different?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, Burger King and McDonald's don't look the same.
Mm-mm.
They don't. I know when I'm coming up on a McDonald's, and I know when I'm coming up on a Burger King. I know when I'm coming up on my beloved Target, Mr. Target, my pimp that take all my money. I know him, and I know Walmart that I ain't never going in there. Like,
yeah. and that's why I tell people, even like the way that the advertisements look, when people see something, they should know, oh, that's from her, that's from him.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that defined on, this is what our brand voice is going to be. This is what our brand guidelines are going to be. Or because you switch it up so much, because again, it goes back to those people who every 3 or 4 months, they got a new logo. They got this, they got that, because they don't know what their brand is. They never done the research into what their target customers even want. And so they end up having 30 different logos. And now the people are like, hold on, I thought that this was your stuff. Oh, you switched up? Oh, that's you? Oh, right. You changed your company name again? Oh. Now they're confused, and they're like, okay, if they don't know what they want, I know I'm not going to use them.
Yeah. Confused minds do not buy, period.
No.
And I love what you said about this conversation around being humble. I hear that, and I see that a lot from people on social media, especially addressing, entrepreneurs and stuff like that. People that are not entrepreneurs addressing entrepreneurs. I don't see that a lot with entrepreneurs saying it. I see that a lot with people, that are still in the workforce saying that to entrepreneurs. And what it does is it exacerbates imposter syndrome for a lot of people. I know that I've struggled with that, just trying to get beyond myself so that I can stand out too. It makes people second guess themselves. Like you said, that's what it was designed to do. It was designed to keep you, keep a foothold on you, and to keep you back and to bring you down to somebody else's level who doesn't even have the confidence to get up and do half of what you've done by noon in a full day. Right? And so I see that so much, and it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. That as well as the copycat memes, copycat this, copycat, oh, I saw this person say this, so now I'm gonna say this. It's like, it's okay to be contrarian. It's okay to say that, no, that ain't the way to do things. No, you can do something else.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, they don't necessarily think of it that way. They don't think about, hey, I can be different. I can, and that's why, even for me, and it's funny that we talk about your brand standing out, but I have people who reach out to me and they're like, do you do logos? And I'm like, no, I do branding packages. I don't do just logos, because what are you going to do with your logo? Who's your target client? Have you thought about how to speak to them, how to do these things? And so, I think for a lot of people, they don't know who that is. They don't really even know who they are with their business. And so when you start asking them questions and it makes them explore, they're like, I didn't think about that.
Because they probably came out and they saw somebody else selling waist trainers and weave. Because I get so many, oh Lord, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I get so many people that come to me with that one. And I'm like, how many waists and how many heads do we have out here for all these? I just don't know. I don't know. Like, you can't think of nothing else. But you saw somebody else doing this, and you saw that they was potentially making some money, and now you say, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. It's not because it's something that's a passion of theirs. So they don't have a vision for it.
Yeah. I talk about that all the time. If you chase your passion, it'll make you profits. But you have to know how to chase it the right way, because I hate when people say, just do what you love and the money will come. No, you have to go about the right way. I mean, I could love drinking water all day. That doesn't mean it's going to make me money. But guess what? I could possibly be a water tester for somebody. Just let them know, hey, this water tastes delicious, and make some money. But you have to know how you're going to do it. And so for a lot of people, they just really don't know. They've seen somebody else do it and they say, okay, they making money. They making money, so I can do it. And I'm like, hold on tight. You didn't look at, they pay for influencers, they pay for this with their packaging. Even I tell people, even think about your brand experience, not just, you know, what it looks like, but how does your brand, how, when someone initially starts doing business with you, how do they feel throughout the entire customer journey?
Let's talk about it. Oh my God. People don't realize that that's a huge part of marketing.
Yeah.
People don't realize, see, let's go here. People don't even realize that the reason that they keep going to Chick-fil-A and standing in that long double line is because they say, please, thank you, and my pleasure, not because the chicken is that good, because it ain't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize that. They don't realize that, oh, this is why I like Chick-fil-A, because they get me in and out of the line, and they got people out here with the tablet moving the line fast, and I don't have to go to Popeyes to argue with Kiki over a biscuit, even though the chicken is better. They don't realize that.
Yeah.
That's marketing. That is marketing. That's intentional. That's customer experience. That is making sure that people want to come back.
Yeah. And a lot of people just think, no, that's customer service. I'm like, customer service and marketing go hand in hand. That's the reason why Delta Airlines has a complete customer service department dedicated just to social media.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. I'm telling you, people don't realize this. And just like you, I've worked in corporate, I've worked agency side and client side. And so I've seen both ends of how things work. Mm-hmm. And we would sit in those meetings and talk about that difference, that type of stuff, especially like companies like Target. Everything, the reason you go in, and that's probably why I love Target. Okay. But when you Target, ain't the air just so fresh? Like, it's like, and the carts just glide. It's like shopping heaven. How do you not love it? I don't know anybody that can go in there and just not fall in love. But when I go in Walmart, I feel like it's chaos and foolishness.
Yeah, the stores are unorganized. The floors are nasty. Like, we pay attention to that. It's the whole environment. Thinking about what the brand gives off. When you go into Target, they in there. Sometimes, depending on who's standing there, how many workers they have that day and how many employees are there, they're going to probably hand you a cart, depending on what's going on. The employees will speak to you.
Yes, they will.
You can barely find an employee in Walmart, especially checking out.
And what a lot of people don't realize, the way that the lights are set up, you don't hear music when you go in Target, and you won't. That's intentional. And I know that because I work for Target Corporate, like a lot of stuff that you don't realize happening to you is a part of that. Yes, come on, Kiana. Kiana on Facebook, she said, she's on YouTube. She said it's the popcorn scent at the front door. You see what I'm saying? You know,
look, the popcorn, the Starbucks, baby. The popcorn and Starbucks. Like, come on in. And then right there, they got the bullseye section. Come on and get this stuff for $1.
$1 right here at the door.
You in here to get, your stuff for your kids' party. We know you looking for a thing of pencils. We know that your child has a party coming up for that classroom, and that it's going to be 12, 18, or 24 students. Get this pack while you here, and then go on through the store. Oh, come look at the bullseye specials. Go ahead. Oh, you looking for that clearance rack. There you go.
They got it laid. I'm telling you. And that is all a part of marketing. Why do you think when you walk in the store, the stuff that's in the circular is on the end cap? That's marketing.
Mm-hmm. And brands pay for those end caps too.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. See, I can't look now. I'm talking to somebody that know what they're talking about. I get excited off of this stuff, y'all. Like, because when I go places, I look for, okay, how is this? So, and I'm the girl that's gonna do a survey. I'm gonna let you know if you hit or missed. This one right. This one right this time. I love a good survey. Don't ask me my opinion, because I'm gonna.
Yeah, look, and if I have a bad experience, I'm gonna let them know, because I know a lot of time. Okay, well, maybe that person was just having a bad day, or this right here was going on, but let me let you know something. Your employee was standing back there texting on the phone instead of making sandwiches. It was 20 people waiting. You had 30 people that walked away because they saw the long line. That was missed revenue.
Yep.
Even, you know, and I've had some people who, of course, I don't really do. Now I will do certain work like pro bono for like nonprofits and things like that. But I've reached out to people to let them know, hey, here's some things I think you can improve to help your business. It's just on, you know.
I do it all the time.
And sometimes they're either receptive or they're defensive.
Or they want to fight you. Sometimes
and I'm like, okay, especially if it's an agency person responding, because they get upset. But hey, I'm just letting you know. And if you don't give me the response, and depending on what the response is, I may go to the owner. I let one company know because their agency that they hired to do a set, and I didn't know it was an agency at first. I thought maybe it was somebody internally. I didn't know. They had so many words misspelled on a sponsored advertisement, including the company name. And we're not talking about a small company. We're talking about somebody who it was for a consumer product. You could tell they probably invested millions into this product. And their advertisements had the name spelled wrong. So I inboxed them and said, hey, I sent them a screenshot to let them know, hey, just so you all know, blah, 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 blah. No response. I sent to the CEO of the company on LinkedIn. Hey, just so you know, this is what's being put out there for your company. He said, thank you. I appreciate it. Great. Good. I've also done the same thing to, at the time was a competitor agency, but I didn't know it. Let them know, hey, it's a couple of words spelled wrong on your government website that's paying you multi-million dollars a year to do this. Oh, they got pissed.
Of mine. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I don't think I've ever spoken about this on YouTube or even publicly. Misspelled words. I won't even buy from you if I see something misspelled or looking crazy. Grammar and spelling. I don't know why it's such a peeve of mine. It has always been a thing with me. I used to be the kid that when my grandmother came from church with her bulletin, I used to go through there and circle the words that were spelled wrong. And this was in elementary school. No lie. For real.
And here's my thing. Even with me, we're going to say I'm really tired because I've been working on something all night. Guess what I do? I send it over to somebody else to have them proof it.
Yeah. It's simple stuff like that people don't realize really makes or breaks something. Because that could just be that one little trigger that makes somebody say, oh, I don't want to get in my money. They don't look right.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an influencer whose name I'm not going to say, posted up something where they were out shopping. And they did not know how to spell the word champagne. And they spelled campaign. And I was like, just let everybody know you special. You real special. Like, and I'm out there thinking, of course, they eventually ended up changing it. But I was like, if you know spelling is not your forte, if you know that grammar is not your forte, give your phone to somebody else. Yeah. Or even tell them, can you type up these captions for me? And then I'm going to put it in the notes on my phone. Then I'm going to copy and paste. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, I have some clients who they'll tell me, Danielle, I don't like writing. I don't like typing out emails. Can you type up these emails for me? Can you do this? I'm totally fine with that because guess what? They know that's not their strength. They don't like writing. They don't like that's fine with me. We'll just do verbal phone calls and I'll take notes.
Yeah. That's fair. You know, and I tell people this too. Everything is not for everybody. Some of y'all are really good at math. Chanelle ain't. That's why Chanelle don't do her own taxes. I ain't going to jail. So if you know that you're not good at something, it's okay to seek out people like Danielle, to seek out people like myself, somebody else that is a good copywriter or whatever. But the whole key to this is if you really want your business to stand in the spotlight, you got to be willing to invest to get there. This is business. These aren't hobbies of ours. This isn't something we just decided we're going to do today. And, you know.
And what they have to remember too is that if you invest with the right people, if you invest the right way, you're going to get your return on investment. You're going to get it. If you follow what they tell you to, because just like for me, and you know, we've had this discussion, For me, I have some people who just get strategies and they implement everything themselves. They're just like, hey, I just need someone to tell me what to do and I can do it. Okay, cool. I can show you what you got to do. But for a lot of people, they skip out on that strategy part and then they wonder why they're struggling on the back end. Even, for me, just like I've gotten to the point where if people say, oh, I just need you to make social media posts, I'm to the point now, if I don't have a strategy to do it, I can't just make social media posts.
And that's the reason why I backed away from it, is because I'm asking you questions and giving you a questionnaire to kind of get a feel for what you're trying to do, and you can't communicate that to me. Yeah. Now you're looking to me to build your brand, and that's not that's not my business. Yeah. It's your business. So with that, and as we come to a close, who is your ideal client? While we're talking about clients, who do you just love to work with, and what's your favorite thing to do?
Who do I love? I think at this point, my favorite clients, most of my clients have been women, Black women, and I'm happy for that, because I'm like, hey, we can shine, baby. But I'm going to say, I think for me, regardless on what industry it is, my favorite clients are ones that see a value in their own business. They understand their potential. They know, hey, and they're out there, look, I saw my competitor doing this, and I know I have something that's better than them. Those ones that are confident and know, help me get there. And the ones who are coachable, because a lot of time, especially if it's somebody who's been doing it on their own, they don't think about, hey, I need to do X, Y, and Z, or I'm open to criticism. And so I think that for me, it's just those ones who see that value in it, and they know I can go to the next level if I get some professional help.
I love that. So how can the people reach out to you if they need some polishing of their brand?
Yeah, they can visit my website at drandassociates.com. They can find us on Instagram underneath all of that, DR and Associates, and also on Facebook. And then for my personal page, I really don't do Facebook like that, but they can reach out to me on Instagram at I am Danielle Reid, REID.
All right. Well, thank you, Danielle. Look, anytime we talk, it's a party. It's a good time. I'm probably gonna end up in each other's inbox like, girl, you know how we do.
Yeah.
You know how we do. It just is what it is. And I didn't mention this, but Danielle is also a lovely woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated as well. Oh, look, and I got on my shirt today.
So, I always got to represent. So hey.
Yes. So I just had to throw that out there because you know how we are. So anyway, we'll talk offline.
Oh yeah.
But thank y'all for joining us for this week of the Bright Girls in Business podcast. Y'all know every week I tell y'all to come on back next week, because we are going to have another woman entrepreneur on next week. Actually, wait, no, next week is the 6th. I won't be on next week. I'll be on the 13th though. Next week I'm taking a break. I'm moving. So the next time you see me, I'll be on a different set, guys. It'll be a different background. This ain't really a set. This is the wall in a lamp. We're going to judge something up for y'all. And we'll be moving. So I won't be on next Monday, but I will be on the following Monday with another woman entrepreneur. But in the meantime, I need y'all to go ahead and register for my upcoming webinar, which is 3 key ways to gain massive visibility for your business without social media. So we just told y'all a whole bunch of ways right here, things that you can do that's not social media, but we're going to do a deep dive into that on my upcoming webinar. I'm going to post the link in the comments or in the caption of this video. Go ahead and register, and we'll see you at the webinar. And until next time, y'all be good. All right.